Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Burning Issues. It's the 1st of January 2024. Oops, put the microphone a bit closer. And because of that, I thought it was relevant to kind of do a little bit of a different format this week. Effectively, a recap of 2023 for me personally, which, to be honest with you, isn't something that I really normally do, but maybe I've speaking to other people and they seem to all recommend doing it. And to be fair, quite a useful little exercise. It can kind of feel a bit maybe self-indulgent, but I think there's nothing wrong with that every now and then. So this is realistically just a list of things that just came to my head, into my head rather, as I was thinking of kind of key accomplishments, achievements of the last year. You'll note that previously I have mentioned I'm not a firm believer in goal setting, which is very, I know, contrary to a lot of people's opinion. I think if you've got a general direction of travel, it's far more beneficial than goal setting. I do understand some people like to have specific things and like to have smart objectives, etc. And then they can measure the progress by that, which I totally understand and respect. I think for me, I prefer to have, I know roughly where I'm going, but I think I heard Jeff Bezos talking about this, like the wandering element of it, the kind of figuring things out as you go along and allowing things to be more open than just so rigid. I think actually provides, for me, a lot more like room for growth and not being too hard on myself, which is something that I kind of definitely over the years have been. So anyway, without further ado, there's some couple of different things that might give you an idea. I suppose I'm doing this one for my own self as a kind of cathartic exercise, and two, perhaps you can maybe start thinking of there are some things on this list which I'll get to in a moment that you'd maybe think, oh, maybe that is small little things, not all big, grand, accomplishments. Some of them are quite small things, but I think almost more important in some respects. So here's the list, and I'll talk through them briefly. So first thing was moving out of my parents' house. I obviously moved out previously, but this was the latest time, and feels great. I'm sat in the apartment right now, actually, that I moved into, which is a beautiful, beautiful place. Which is another thing. Really grateful to have moved in such a gorgeous apartment. You can't see now because it's dark, but I'm sure you've seen on my Instagram the views here are just breathtaking. I spent 6 months every single week mentoring a they call them a client in that kind of charity world who at times was truly on the brink of despair, and now I'm very pleased to report is in a really great place, and can push on with his life. It's not all down to me, not by any stretch, but I know for a fact I had a large role to play in his development, and I'm very proud of that. I mentioned before, but living in this beautiful apartment in the city centre of Manchester is absolutely amazing. Running a very successful first year all in with the old hat watch marketplace, and profitably at that as well, which has been really great. Then I've had now it's probably over 18 months with no real mental health episodes, a period of real stability, which is something that even this time last year would have been hard to say that was possible, I would suggest. I've amassed a really beautiful watch collection. I'm sure you've seen some of those pieces. Right now I've got my Milgauss on, which I absolutely love. Back in the gym, real health is a real focus, and that will be going forwards too. In terms of vacations, holidays, that kind of thing, I've been to Switzerland twice. Once was Watching Wonders in, I think it was April, if I'm not mistaken. Second time was the Watch Days, which I'd never been before, more of an independent watch show with a friend of mine. Just came out of Vienna, which is absolutely stunning. I'd recommend it highly. Went to Ibiza, went golfing in Portugal twice with my father and my grandfather, which is fantastic. Some amazing concerts. Elton John's last tour. Went and saw Peter Kay, Pete Tong, to name but a few. Of course, smoked an awful lot of fine cigars, which is just a great kind of way to just take your time over something during a world where things are always fast paced and there's always things happening. Cigars are something you have to kind of just sit back and relax and have a good old fashioned conversation with, which leads me on to rekindling some really good friendships from years gone by, making some great new friends also, starting a new business with a new business partner who I didn't even know this time last year, meeting exceptional people that have become clients, friends along the way. Drove a friend of mine's Lamborghini, which was just one of great experiences. Mentioned it before, but mentally in a really great place. Not just for mental health, but just in terms of knowing myself, what I'm trying to strive for, the building in more resilience, these sorts of things. And that has led to, which is the next thing, creating a really great platform in many regards to push forward from. Of course, Burning Issues, of which this is one of those, has been really successful this year. The Burn Desire show has been super successful. Just the last episode, I think, has now had 1,300 views. It's not everything, but it's great to see that people are kind of starting to see that and whatnot. And I've got something like 150 subscribers now on that channel, which is small fry. I'm not going to say it isn't, but it was at 70 only a few weeks ago. So that's quite nice to see. It's just been so many amazing experiences. I can't even think of them off the top of my head. Every day it's been kind of something. It's been great. Day to day, the lifestyle that I've had this year, I don't even think I could dream it up if it was this time last year where I was. So, the dinners that I go to, turning 30 last year, might sound like nothing, but it's still an accomplishment, becoming a more well-rounded individual, more knowledgeable, more experienced, I mentioned before, but more resilient than ever, more determined than ever. And then also, which we've talked about at length before, having this kind of harmony between being extremely grateful where I'm at and everything that I've achieved and where I'm and everything that's around me and everyone that's around me, and also being super ambitious simultaneously. And I just mentioned, thinking passing here, but a better sense of this year of who I actually am and back to myself after many years of battling mental health, and now kind of firmly focused on where I'm going forwards. So back to why I did this. Yes, it's a bit self-indulgent and I'm not trying to show off and it's not being boastful. That's not the purpose of this video. It's for you guys to maybe think about some of the things that I've just mentioned, some of which are, things you might not think of as accomplishments. Some are simply just being a better person, being more determined. Those are things that matter. Not just your business went to this, you lost this amount of weight, etc., etc. So yeah, I just thought I'd kind of leave on that note. In terms of for 2024 for me, I think I mentioned it again within the kind of last couple of minutes, but using the platform professionally and personally that I've created to push forward. So both in a business sense, both in physical health, losing the weight, this little chin or 3 needs to go, and it will. So looking forward to see what is in store for the next year. And the thing I will leave on is this message, which is, as I say, 12 months ago, there's a list, I'm just reading it in front of me on an Excel spreadsheet that's made of 30 things. And there could probably be 10 times that if I really went and thought about it. If you'd have told me a year ago, most of those things that would have been achieved, there's not a chance I would ever have believed you. And if that's possible, and I've made that possible in 12 months, then you can make that possible in the next 12 months. And there's nothing to stop you. There really isn't. And you might think that just sounds like, the usual rhetoric that you hear, but I'm just telling you from personal experience that, I'd put a lot of work into lots of different elements of my life that have led me to the point of having last year being successful. But more importantly, the position that I found myself in on the 13th of May 2022, when I last left hospital to now, is night and day. It's literally night and day. And if I can do it, you can do it. And if I can help you in any way, shape or form, you can always reach out to me. I'm very easy to find on Instagram, social media, my email, phone number, everything is easy to find. And if I can help you or someone that you know in any way, shape, or form, I will do my utmost to do so. I wish you the best for 2024. And yeah, have a good one, guys. Cheers.